Welcome back to another video. I'm Maximilian and I help people empower their lives. So, in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you how you can get rid of your anxiety. You can get rid of it very quickly. Now, it's something you will have to work on, but you can clear it in an instant, and then eventually over time, it becomes habitual. And how do we live our life? Through habits. 95% of our life is lived through habits. So, as soon as you master this, then you will be able to clear anxiety very, very quickly. So what I want you to do is, first of all, I'm going to be explaining everything behind what anxiety is, just so you understand anxiety and that you are fully in control. So fear and anxiety, well, fear in general is there to keep us alive. We need to feel fearful in order to keep ourselves alive. So for example, if there was a tiger chasing you, you would run away. If there was a bus coming straight towards you, you would jump out of the way because you know what's going to happen. You can tell what's going to happen. Anxiety is living in the future. You're not sure what the future outcome can be, but you're putting a worst case scenario on it. So if you're constantly living in the future and you're looking at, maybe I might die if I do that. Maybe I might lose something. Maybe I might this, I might that. Maybe people will laugh at me. Whatever it is, you're going to constantly put the worst case scenario in your head if you think like this. So know that fear is there for a reason. Fear is there to save us and keep us alive. It's the fight or flight response. We either stand and fight or we run away. And sometimes it makes sense to run away. You're not going to be able to beat up a tiger. You're going to get eaten. But if there was someone who was having a go at you, you could turn around and tell them not speak to you like that. Maybe use different words, but you could do exactly that. So the key is we control our states. We control our states and our body. So emotions is basically energy in motion, emotion. And the way that we control our state is through our emotions. So if I said to you right now, I will give you £1 million right now, if you could guess what state I'm in right now. You'd say sad. You say sad, you say depressed, you say unhappy, not willing to do anything, lazy, something like that. Now, if I said right now, I'll give you another £1 million if you can guess my state right now. You'd say happy, you'd say confident, you'd say something that's more empowering than the initial one, the one that was sad and stuff like that. So, what you need to do is, you need to understand that our emotions carry our motion. Well, no, our motion it affects our emotions. So what you can do is change your state. When you can physically change your state, you can be, because we have control over our state. Like I just said, I can sit like that, or I can sit like that. I have full control over my state. Everything that happens to me, I have control inside. What happens outside, I do not have control over, nor do you. So you can't put your happiness, you can't put being happy on how others will treat you, on what will happen in your life. Because for example, if you don't get this goal, then you won't be happy. If you don't get this person, then you won't be happy. Then you're going to constantly be chasing your tail, because you need to have something external in order to feel happy. But the only way to have sustainable happiness, again, happiness isn't sustainable 24/7, but to have sustainable happiness, you need to find it within you. You need to be happy with what you've got already. You need to be happy with who you are already, and continuously learn and grow. Because when you're growing, you're succeeding. It's a constant growth. If you're constantly growing, you will succeed eventually. So it's all about your physiology. How you stand, how you look, how you feel predicates your confidence, predicates your anxiety. So if, for example, you saw someone stand in the corner like this, you can tell that they're probably not going to be a very chatty person. Whereas if there's someone who's standing there smiling at everyone, they're most likely going to be a chatty person. So what I want you to understand is fear and anxiety are fear and excitement are the exact same emotion. Okay, so this might sound hard to comprehend, but when I explain it, you'll understand it. So you can't feel two emotions at the same time, two opposite emotions. So you can't feel happy and sad at the same time. Now, someone tried to question, they asked me a question and said, but what if you're really happy and then someone gives you sad news? Then you go from happy to sad. You can't be happy and sad at the same time. You could be crying with laughter, but you're happy. You could be sad, but you can't be smiling when you're like really seriously sad. Or you're just coming out of state back into happiness, but then you can go back into the sadness. So you can go in and out of states very quickly. And a great example is, if someone gives you great or really bad news and you're really happy, that can switch you in an instant. So this means it's more than possible for you to switch from anxiety to confidence, from fearful to confident in a matter of seconds. And it's all about how you act, how you feel, how you think, because your mind is created by your thoughts. Your body is created by your feelings. So if you can feel and think, and they can work in coherence, you're thinking and feeling, they're working in coherence, then you can become what you say you want to become. So, fear and excitement, the exact same emotion. Now, every single time you feel fearful, you feel anxious, what I want you to do is, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I'm scared of? What is the best case scenario? So if you have a pen and paper, write these down. What is it that I'm actually scared of? Because once you're clear, you know what it is you're scared of. It could be, you might have to meet new people. Have you met new people before? Yes. Have you made new friends before? Most likely yes. Even myself, I don't have many friends, but I've made new friends before. And when you understand that you've done this before, you just maybe haven't done it for a while, it will get easier. Now, when you constantly tell yourself, this is where it just is constant in your head, and you've got to basically manipulate your brain to be confident. And you've got to tell yourself, what I'm really is, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. And just continuously tell yourself that every single time you are fearful. So, for example, when I first started racing motorbikes, every single time, every single race, it didn't matter what time of the day it was, every single race, there was 3 races every Sunday, every single time I would be so scared. I don't know why, I couldn't work it out, I was very young at the time. I couldn't work it out, but I'd have the exact same feeling. Now, like I said, they're both the same emotions. When you're scared or you're fearful, you get a funny feeling in your stomach. You might go red, your palms might sweat, you might start stuttering or something like that. And the exact same thing happens when you get excited as well. The external emotion, what you portray, how you act, is the exact same thing. And every time I would go there, I would be so shocked, but then as soon as it would start, I'd be perfectly fine. So what was actually the worst thing? It was just because there were so many people in one line that were all going to one corner, and that was why I was so fearful. But realistically, I had done it many times before. I got used to it, but I didn't understand the logic behind it. I didn't understand that I was actually excited. It was just the questions I was asking myself. Because you ask yourself better questions, you'll get a better answer. And if you're asking yourself, why is this here? Maybe it's here to help me, maybe it's here to protect me, then you understand, okay, that's perfect. What do I need to do, or how should I be feeling? What's the best case scenario that can happen? Because when we think worst case scenario, we're gonna make up many stories in our head. When you start to think best case scenario, you start to realize what's possible, what you're capable of. So for example, a great game that you can play, the what if game. So what if I spoke to that person? What could happen? I could potentially get a new relationship, I could potentially get a new business opportunity, I could potentially find a new friend, I could potentially this, I could potentially that. Find out the best case scenario that can happen with the what if game. Now, it's very easy for you to play this, and when you start to play it, it starts to become a lot easier and way more fun, because we always like to see the best case scenario. We'd love to see us win and succeed, but if we knew we were going to succeed 100% of the time, I know initially, and I completely understand, it would be amazing initially, but give it 2, 3, 4, 5 months, we would only ever do stuff that worked. The whole world would just be winning, and there would be nothing to, like, everything would just be boring. And I know we would say, yeah, that would be great, but realistically it wouldn't. You need the yin, you need the yang of life, and fear's there to protect us. And if we weren't fearful at all and we just knew everything would work every time, then nothing would happen, and everyone would just be, I suppose, winning, but realistically it wouldn't work, it wouldn't be sustainable, because happiness isn't sustainable 24/7. So I hope you gained some value from this video. If you like it, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. Click the links in the bio to find me on Instagram, find out my online programs. If you want to work with me, let's work together. Have an amazing day, keep smiling, and keep spreading positivity.